The next generation of the internet and the new chapter of the Facebook's Metaverse. Richard Branson rocketed to the edge of the space, so did the Jeff Bezos just days later. Elon Musk has grand plans for the interplanetary life, especially the Mars. But Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is one tech billionaire that do not follow the suit. Instead, he unveiled his own futuristic ambitions recently, positioning his company as the center of the Metaverse. While others focus on the universe, Zuckerberg going to the Metaverse. Think of it as what will come after the internet is a virtual universe that will straddle the physical and digital worlds, allowing people to live and interact in real time in both of them. The Metaverse concept has been somewhat niche, presiding largely in the gaming world, until Zuckerberg pushes it into the limelight recently in the interview with 𝒕𝒕𝗂𝒧𝒧📏. He said Facebook would be evolved from the social media company into the Metaverse company, and the Facebook Andrew Bortward said that the company is even building out the designated executive team to oversee process toward the Metaverse vision. Facebook's VR and AR technology can currently teleport you into the room with other people, regardless of the physical distance, or to the new virtual world and experiences, Bortward said in the Facebook post. But to achieve our full vision of the Metaverse, we also need to build the connective tissues between these spaces, so you can remove the limitation of the physical and move between them with the same ease as moving from the one room in your home to the next. Zuckerberg said that he's banking on a transition to occur over the course of the new 5 years or so. Mark Zuckerberg may not achieve the astronaut status, he's rocketing Facebook into the virtual universe instead. Then let's get into all of the Facebook's next chapter with the Metaverse. As either a new evolution of the internet or the latest corporate buzzword to get investors excited over some nebulous innovations that may not even come to pass over the next decades. Either way, tech company, primarily Facebook, are increasingly boosting the concept of the Metaverse. The classic sci-fi term for the virtual world you can live, work, and play inside. If you've seen the movie Ready Player One, you have a pretty good idea of what the Metaverse is. Strap on a computerized glasses and you're teleported into the digital universe where anything is possible. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is the most bullish on this concept, announcing his plan earlier last month to pivot Facebook from the social media company to the Metaverse company in the coming years. That aligns with the Zuckerberg's dream of the infrastructure blueprint, as he found the future of the Facebook as the infrastructure like the electricity, network, and all the kind of system that builds a society rather than just one kind of application dwelling in the Android or iOS ecosystems. Anyway, Zuckerberg finds the future of the Facebook at the Metaverse, the 3D world. He also described it as, in the future, we are working towards a virtual environment where you can be present with the people in the digital spaces, an embodied internet that you are inside of, he said during the conference call following Facebook's mixed second quarter result. The company's Oculus division is a pioneer in augmented and virtual reality headsets and contents, and is obviously growing. And Zuckerberg took most of the call to describe VR as Facebook's future, the ultimate expression of the social technology, and something he's dreamed of building since the way before he started Facebook that's only starting to come into the focus now. So what does that really mean? Mark Zuckerberg clearly wants to reinvent the Facebook. He has been telling that he wants the company to lead the way a completely different internet. So what does the Facebook chief executive mean by the Metaverse company? And what will the company look like if and when it gets there? Metaverse origins, where it comes from, the Metaverse. At first, the word Metaverse is a collective virtual shared space including the sum of the all virtual world and the internet. It's hard, right? Let's parse the terminology. The word itself is made up of the prefix meta, meaning beyond, and the stem verse, the back formation from the universe. The stem Metaverse is used to describe the vision whereby the internet will evolve into the virtual world. The idea was first conceptualized in 1992 by the American novelist Neal Stephenson in a science fiction classic, Snow Crash. It foresees the internet as a 3D virtual living space where individuals dip in and out, interacting with one another in real time. More recently, there was a Steven Spielberg's movie, Ready Player One. Many in Silicon Valley still view the Metaverse as the future. For example, Google is heavily investing in augmented reality (AR), which is where you use the technology to look at the real world but with a digital 3D object layered on top. And there are rumors swirl that Apple is building a product like glasses for experiencing virtual spaces. But Facebook appears the most committed of all to this new vision. In his quest to turn Facebook into the Metaverse company, Zuckerberg is seeking to build a system where people move between VR, AR, and even 2D devices, using realistic avatars of themselves where appropriate. Here they will work, socialize, sharing things, and have other experiences while still probably using the internet for some tasks such as searches, which is similar to how we use it today. Owning not only the Facebook platform but also WhatsApp, Instagram, and VR headset maker Oculus gives Zuckerberg a big head start in making this a reality. Collectively, this brand gives Facebook an unbeatable number of customer relationships and all the important knowledge for creating a desirable virtual world, how people behave online, their personalities, likes and dislikes, gaits, eye movement, and even emotional states. To help build the metaverse, Facebook engineers will have to make success of immersive realism. Imagine a computer game with 2.9 billion avatars and artificial intelligence that harvested all known information on them. The company has created a division called Reality Labs, whose researchers are working on creating a defining quality of the metaverse, namely presence, the feeling of being in a space with others. Facebook is also plotting money into the software to enable activities like teleporting into another place like an office, so that it seems as if you're really there, as well as the physical kits like AR glasses and more advanced VR headsets. Facebook's metaverse, not only gaming. Normally, people would think about the metaverse only related to games like Roblox, Fortnite, and so on. But Facebook's metaverse is not only limited to the gaming world. Here's their application of the metaverse: Infinite Office and Horizon. One application of the metaverse Mark Zuckerberg gave was being able to jump virtually into the 3D concert after initially watching on the mobile phone screen. You feel present with other people as if you were in the other spaces, having different experiences that you couldn't necessarily do on the 2D applications or web page like dancing, for example, or other different type of fitness, he said. Facebook is also working on the Infinite Office that lets the user create their ideal workplaces through the VR. In the future, instead of just doing this over the phone call, you'll be able to sit as a hologram on my couch, or I'll be able to sit as a hologram on your couch. And it'll actually feel like we're in the same place, even if in a different states or hundreds of miles apart, he said. I think that is really powerful. In 2019, it launched the Facebook Horizon, an invitation-only immersive environment where users can mingle and chat in a virtual space with cartoon avatars through the Oculus headsets. Okay, we now understand that Mark Zuckerberg clearly fell in love with the metaverse, and their futuristic plan can be surely supported by the cutting edges of technologies. And also, we now will know that what the metaverse really meaning about. But here's a question. Facebook is unraveling #1 social media application, and recently they reported a 57% increase in the second quarter advertising sales together with a 7% rise in their monthly active users, and near doubling its net income to $10.4 billion. And at the end of June, the company was sitting on the $64 billion on cash. So why they really need to make this bold pivoting? Why the metaverse is necessary to Facebook? There are 4 reasons. At first, next generation of the internet. Mark Zuckerberg called the metaverse the next generation of the internet and the next chapter of us as a company. Metaverse is not only limited to the one dynamic version of the gaming, but will be extended to the real society, our daily lives. Let's take a look back the days when the mobile was emerging to our daily lives. Mobile does not only mean the more portable version of the PC, it started to guarantee us a more dynamic ways of usage thanks to a variety of applications and a more developed network. That time comes again. Mark Zuckerberg tells a lot of variety of stories, but the point is very clear. PC and mobile will once again go through the evolution and will finally be upgraded to the metaverse. It does not mean that the PC and mobile will be entirely substituted to the headgears, but will be gradually coming to our daily lives as more acceptable form of wearables. At the 2021 Viva Tech, which is Europe's largest startup and technology event, Zuckerberg pointed out that the changes and the potential of the VR and AR technologies, which are the core of the metaverse, will be bring about. He said that augmented reality will replace all forms of art and media. In the future, media, art, screen, and TV do not need to exist physically. It can be just one application or a project projected on the wall with the VR glasses. And he added that the field of application beyond games is rapidly expanding, and eventually it will become a major computing platform after smartphones and PCs. It's important not to think that the computers and mobile phones will become obsolete, but rather that the use of the VR and AR will be as common as computers and mobile phones. The second, the new SNS platform. Mark Zuckerberg does not want you to log into his company's product, normally applications. He wants you to living, working, and even exercising inside them. That is very high-level idea behind the metaverse. That is based on the real interaction with the others on the virtual spaces. The point is still on the real experiences, in other words, presence. So that can be understood as an extended version of the today's SNS. That's also the reason Zuckerberg told that in many ways, the metaverse is the ultimate expression of the social technology. Think about it this way, we are still dwelling on the real life, but we can contact with the people from different spaces and time by posts, pictures, shorts, and videos. If we define them as a two-dimensional experiences, we can imagine about what it would be like of the three-dimensional experiences. That's the metaverse. Let's wrap this concept into this way. First, chatting. Bullet points are of the text-based service represented by the Twitter. The second, image-based information that will be the Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. The third, video contents, the TikTok, Snap, and the YouTube. And lastly, the virtual world that will be the metaverse of the Horizon, Roblox, Fortnite, and so on. 𝒕𝒉𝒂𝒕, executive of the Facebook Reality Lab, said that it's a do social network versus the shared social network. And she added that I do believe that the next wave of the social is being with the people that matters to you, doing experiences that matters to you, and creating relationships. The third, creators economy of metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg said no one company can develop metaverse by themselves. That is an ecosystem requiring new protocols, new payment system, basically new everything, and will create a lot of economic value. Here's a business case Zuckerberg and his team made for the Facebook investment in the metaverse. Facebook will sell the hardware, but that is not where the real money comes from. Zuckerberg said in the earnings call that the Facebook's goal is to sell its headsets as cheaply as possible and focus on making money through the commerce and advertising within the metaverse itself. Our business model isn't going to primarily be around trying to sell devices at a large premium or anything like that, because our mission is around serving as many people as possible, Zuckerberg said on the earnings call. So we want to make everything that we do as affordable as possible, so as many people as possible can get into it and then compound the size of the digital economy inside it. Facebook already runs Oculus, the virtual reality division of the company. Today, Oculus VR headsets are relatively limited in what they can do, but Facebook's hope is to improve the technology so the headsets look more like a pair of Warby Parker glasses instead of clunky helmets. According to Zuckerberg, the metaverse will only work if the hardware can provide the users a true sense of presence in a digital world. More in detail, at present, advertising dominates the Facebook social networking business model, but to move to become a metaverse company raises the possibility of the new revenue sources. Currently, users share thoughts, pictures, posts, activities, events, and interests in two-dimensional ways without paying for it, at least not in the traditional sense. But users might be willing to pay for the enhanced interactivities that will be available in a metaverse, perhaps to enter certain private areas or to do certain things like teleporting for more than a few minutes at a time or whatever. Zuckerberg has said that he believes Facebook will make money from the sales of certain virtual goods and experiences, and in the new world we will probably be interacting with one another even more than we do already. This points to even more revenue opportunities for the gatekeepers. In sum, creating a virtual world for users to interact with their friends and family is not just a fancy vision, it's a commercial necessity. Mark Zuckerberg created first social media platform that became a global standard. Now, in a virtual reality, he's trying to pull off the same trick again. The fourth, independent platform, infrastructure. This point might be somewhat repetition of the third point, so this fourth point can be named as this way: Facebook business model extended. Advertising will still play a role, but Facebook will focus on the sales of virtual goods. Zuckerberg said advertising in the Metaverse will be an important part of the Facebook strategy to profit off the Metaverse, but he sounded more bullish on the commerce in the digital world. Many consider some of today's video games like Microsoft Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite early version of what the Metaverse could be. Those free games make money by selling virtual goods to players. Zuckerberg hinted on earnings call Facebook would copy the strategy to make money in their own Metaverse, taking a slice of every transaction. That is the really same approach with infrastructure like Verizon or AT&T takes role in the network. Apple and Google takes a role in the app stores. I think digital goods and creators are just going to be huge. In terms of people expressing themselves through their avatars, through their digital clothing, through their digital goods, the applications they have, that they bring with them from place to place, Zuckerberg said. A lot of Metaverse experience is going to be around being able to teleport from one experience to another. So being able to basically have your digital goods and your inventory and bring them from place to place, that is going to be the big investment that people make. Then let's wrap up this story with a reality check. In fact, it's going to take years for Zuckerberg's plan to play out, if they even happened at all. Tech companies love futuristic concepts that aren't baked yet, like artificial intelligence. The definition of these terms tend to get blurry and move away from the original concept. Real AI does not exist at all, for example, no matter how many big tech executives pretend it does. There is a real risk of the Metaverse concept will fall into the same trap. As more and more companies, especially those like Facebook and Microsoft, talk up their Metaverse strategies in the near term, keep in mind we're still several years or more away from it becoming a reality. The technology hasn't caught up to the promise. But always, the dreamy things happen and change our lives, especially thanks to the technology. I believe that this Metaverse will finally come into our daily lives and change the way we see the world. Then let's finish this video with a Mark Zuckerberg's message. And my hope, if we do this well, I think over the next 5 years or so, in the next chapter of our company, I think we'll be effectively transition from people seeing us as primarily becoming a social media company to becoming a Metaverse company. Thank you so much for watching my video, and please subscribe to my channel and share your thumbs up. I will hop around the world and bring lots of thousands of funny stories to you guys. And see you again. Bye!